Hey everyone, and welcome back to Speak Smart. I'm Jane, and I'm super excited for today's episode because we're diving deep into something I know so many of you struggle with: how to learn real-life English conversation.
And I'm Lucy. It's true, Jane. It's one thing to understand grammar rules or read a textbook, but actually speaking naturally, like a native, that's a whole different ballgame, isn't it? Especially for beginners at the A1, A2 level.
Absolutely. I hear it all the time. People say, I know the words, but when I try to speak, my brain just freezes. Or, I sound like a robot. We've all been there, trust me.
Oh, for sure. It's like you learn, how are you? And the book tells you to say, I am fine, thank you. But in real life, nobody really says that, do they? It's more like, hey, how's it going? Or, what's up?
Exactly. And that's where the idea of real-life English comes in. It's about getting comfortable with those natural rhythms, common phrases, and the little quirks that make English sound, well, English. Not just correct, but natural.
So, for our A1, A2 listeners who are just starting out or building their foundational skills, what's one big piece of advice you'd give them to bridge that gap between textbook and real talk?
My absolute top recommendation, especially for beginners, is shadowing practice. Have you heard of it, Lucy?
I have, and I think it's brilliant. For those who don't know, shadowing is essentially listening to a native speaker and then speaking at the same time, trying to mimic everything: their pronunciation, their intonation, their speed. It's like being their shadow, right?
Precisely. It's not about understanding every single word at first, although that helps. It's more about getting your mouth, your tongue, and your brain used to producing the sounds and patterns of English without thinking too much. It builds muscle memory for your mouth, if you will.
That's such a great way to put it. I remember trying to learn French, and my tongue just felt awkward, like it didn't know how to move. Shadowing totally helps with that awkwardness factor.
Totally. So for our listeners, here's how you can start shadowing. Find a short audio clip. It could be from a podcast like ours, a short YouTube video, or even a simple dialogue from an English learning app. The key is to keep it short, maybe 30 seconds to a minute at first.
And for A1, A2, it's really important that the material isn't too fast or too complex. Look for things labeled for beginners or slow English. There are tons of resources out there.
Exactly. Listen to the clip once or twice, just to get the general idea. Then, listen again, but this time, try to speak at the same time as the speaker. Don't worry about being perfect. Just try to match their sound.
It feels a bit silly at first, doesn't it? Like you're talking over someone. But honestly, that's the magic. You're tricking your brain into just doing it rather than overthinking every word.
Yes, and consistency is key. Even just 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a massive difference over time. You'll start noticing your mouth forming sounds more easily, and your English will feel less foreign on your tongue.
Okay, so shadowing is great for pronunciation and flow, but what about understanding and using those natural phrases we talked about? The how's it going kind of stuff.
That's a fantastic point. This is where active listening comes in. When you're watching a show, listening to a podcast, or even just hearing English around you, pay attention to the chunks of language native speakers use, not just single words, but groups of words that go together naturally.
Like no worries instead of it is not a problem, or catch you later instead of I will see you at a later time.
Precisely. Make a little note of these phrases, keep a real English phrasebook if you like, and then actively try to incorporate them into your own speaking. Start with simple ones. For A1, A2, think about everyday greetings, asking for directions, ordering food, talking about your day.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes when you try to use them. That's how you learn, right? I mean, I still mess up conjugations in Spanish, and I've been learning for years.
Oh, absolutely. Mistakes are your best teachers. And honestly, native speakers appreciate the effort. We're not judging your grammar, we're just happy you're trying to communicate.
Speaking of communication, what about building confidence? That's a huge barrier for many beginners. They understand, but they're scared to open their mouths.
Ah, the confidence monster. It's real. My advice here is to start small and build up. If you're too shy to speak with a native speaker right away, find an English-speaking buddy at your level. Practice with them.
That's brilliant. No pressure, you're both learning, you can make mistakes together. Plus, you can encourage each other.
Exactly. Or, if that's still too much, practice speaking to yourself. Narrate your day in English. Okay, I'm going to make some coffee now. First, I need to get the mug. Then, I'll add the water. It sounds simple, but it gets your brain used to forming sentences.
I do that with my dog sometimes. He's a great listener, doesn't correct my grammar. The perfect practice partner, honestly.
Haha, perfect! And another big tip for beginners. Don't obsess over vocabulary lists too much. While new words are important, focus on high-frequency words that are used every day. You'll get more mileage out of learning go get make do than super obscure words.
Oh, absolutely. And learn them in context. Don't just learn a word, learn how it's used in a common phrase. That makes it so much more real and applicable.
Couldn't agree more. And remember, learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. You're not going to wake up tomorrow speaking perfectly like a native. It's about small, consistent steps.
So true. Celebrate the small victories. Like when you successfully order your coffee without having to point, or when you understand a joke in English. Those moments are gold.
They really are. So for our A1, A2 listeners, let's recap some key takeaways for learning real-life English conversation. 1. Try shadowing practice consistently, even for just a few minutes a day.
2. Actively listen for and collect common English phrases or chunks of language that native speakers use, and try to incorporate them into your own speech.
3. Build your confidence by starting small. Practice with a friend, speak to yourself, or even your pet. Just get those words out.
And 4. Focus on high-frequency vocabulary and learn words in context, not just in isolation.
Fantastic! And remember, every single time you open your mouth to speak English, you're making progress. You're getting closer to sounding like a native, one conversation at a time.
Absolutely. Don't let the fear stop you. Take these tips, start practicing, and you'll be speaking more naturally in no time. You've got this.
That's all for today's episode of Speak Smart. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time for more English learning tips.
Bye for now, everyone.